Josh Whitaker. This is Joe Hamer. We're attorneys with the law firm of McCullers, Whitaker, and Hamer. We're here today for Real Estate Closings 101. Our topic today is seller proceeds and wires, seller wires. As closing attorneys, we don't represent our seller. We may have prepared some documents for you on behalf of our buyer, a deed, a lien waiver, things like that, but we don't represent you. There is no, this is what I'm going to say first. There's no law, there's no requirement that we wire you your funds at all, okay? There's no obligation, and there's no obligation. Those have to be done the same day. You know, these closings finish when they finish. Sometimes it's early enough in the day where we can get all of our sellers their money. And sometimes it's at the end of the day when banks have closed. We got cutoff times that are earlier than 5 o'clock for wires. There's a lot that goes in the process. So what I would tell a listing agent who may be watching or a seller, no guarantee you're going to get the proceeds the same day. We're going to make every effort known to man to get that done because we want you to be happy. Even though we don't represent you, we still want you to be happy. But that's the first thing I would tell everybody. No requirement that we get you your funds the same day. No requirement that those funds be wired. However, we will wire you your funds if you follow the rules that we set out in our initial materials. So we're going to send you a letter letting you know we represent your buyer. Here's some of the things we're going to be doing. Here's the process. And you're going to have a lot of information you have to give us. You have to give us your social if we're ordering a mortgage payoff. You have to give us a lot of personal information because unfortunately, that's what we need to gather the information for closing. And we do our best to protect that. Of course, our Real Estate Closing 101 topic is not how we protect personal information. Just trust us that we do. But one of those forms you have to fill out for us, if you want us to send you a wire, there is a fee, and you have to fill out a form that tells us your wiring instructions. And that has to be signed and notarized now because wire fraud is rampant.
Fraud's everywhere, and we see it more than anyone would like. I think it would scare people to see how many attempts we see. We're very, very diligent. You know, we always assume that anything we see is essentially a fraud attempt. So that's why we have our forms. That's why we've got our rules. People get very angry with us every single day.
Sellers,
because we're very much sticklers about our rules. We've got our procedures. We're not going to bend on them. And it's done to protect you as a seller because we see so many horror stories and we've seen personally so many attempts at fraud where we'll get an email from someone impersonating you saying, hey, this is my new account. Send this wire to this account. And again, everything we're doing is designed to protect your funds. So you may get angry with us. We may outright refuse to send you a wire. But if we get a bad feeling, we've seen enough transactions. We've seen enough fraud attempts. We know what to look for. And we're just not going to risk it in the event that we anticipate or we expect fraud.
And a bad feeling's enough.
Exactly.
Any kind of bad mojo, maybe we can't even articulate it.
We're sorry. It's just,
we're just not going to do it.
I don't feel good.
Yeah.
So,
and I'll tell you some common mistakes we see. So we have a little form, and it's not a complicated form, but it does require certain information from you. You may have to make a phone call to your bank. If we're going to wire you money, your banks, a lot of people just look at their check, and they'll take their account number from their check and they'll take the routing number for their bank on the check. Well, half the time that routing number is not the same as an ABA wiring number. People are under the impression that it is. I would be too if I didn't have to wire money every day. But you will have to call your bank and confirm your ABA number. And you fill out this form. If you and a spouse are selling property or you and a co-owner are selling property, both of you need to be on the account. I'm not going to send $100,000 to one spouse's account. Both of your names have to be on the account, and both of you have to sign, and both of your signatures have to be notarized. And every attorney's office is kind of like this. Everybody's a little bit different, but everybody's going to require something, and then we're not changing it. So if we get an email from somebody impersonating you or trying to scam us, we're not going to change it. If you email and we really think it's you, but you've decided it should go to another account, we're not changing it. We're just not changing from the original information we got. And then if that original information doesn't work, I've had it sometimes where people didn't confirm their ABA wiring number, and so the wire bounces back. That's it. We're just going to write you a check. And sometimes your Bank of America being one, will deduct $45 for a failed wire attempt. That's on you. Yeah, that's on you. So anyway, that's pretty much all I had. You gotta, and I would say you have to follow our rules because we're talking to you, but whatever closing attorney, and your buyers selected the closing attorney, so a lot of sellers that makes them even angrier because
Sure.
this is someone you didn't select who's
They
going
don't
to
represent you.
and they don't represent you, but they're going to have your funds. Just follow their rules and pay attention to their rules, because you'd be surprised how many sellers never fill out our wire information
And then
expect a wire at closing. We're like, well, we'd be glad to overnight this check to you, but we're not taking wire instructions via email that aren't notarized over the phone. We're just not going to do it. And a lot of attorneys, a lot of settlement agents, they're going to that system. So I think listing agents, I think sellers need to just follow all the rules that your closing, not your closing attorney, but your buyer's closing attorney has set out.
Better safe than sorry.
Hope that's helpful. We'll see you next time.